Must watch how a woman reacts when she realizes you lost interest. Modern Stoic. When a woman realizes that you've lost interest, her response can be profound, often signaling a shift in her behavior. Women are keenly aware of attention, particularly from a man they've been emotionally connected to or who has shown genuine interest in them. This reaction isn't merely emotional. It's deeply tied to power dynamics. When you withdraw, you disrupt her sense of control, and this forces her to reassess where she stands in your life. This change in behavior isn't random either. It's driven by both psychology and evolutionary biology. When a man loses interest, whether by choice or circumstance, it alters the dynamic. She goes from feeling wanted and secure to feeling uncertain and exposed. Women, whether consciously or subconsciously, often look for validation from the men who once pursued them. When that validation vanishes, it triggers confusion, insecurity, and sometimes even competitive behavior. This is why you might notice her making more efforts to reach out, trying to reconnect, or showing up where you frequent. It's not just about missing your attention. It's about trying to regain the control she once had when you were invested in her. For a man, understanding this shift is a powerful tool. By learning to control your engagement, you're not simply shifting the dynamic back in your favor. You're asserting your value. A man who acts from a position of strength and abundance rather than neediness projects power. This isn't about manipulation, but about understanding your own worth and positioning yourself as someone who is not easily influenced. Women instinctively respect this kind of energy and are naturally drawn to it. In this video, I will walk you through the typical ways a woman reacts when she senses you've lost interest and how to navigate the situation with confidence. Mastering this will not only enhance your relationships, but will elevate your confidence across all areas of your life. Let's get started. 1. She becomes more attentive. When a woman realizes you've lost interest, one of the first things you'll notice is that she suddenly becomes more attentive. Women by nature are highly attuned to subtle changes in energy, and when she senses you pulling away, a void is created that she feels compelled to fill. This awakening in her instinct is a powerful trigger. If she believes that another woman may now be capturing your attention, her competitive side will intensify, and she'll seek to reclaim her place in your life. You'll start to see her paying much closer attention to your actions, words, and behavior, things she may have previously overlooked. It could manifest as her initiating more conversations, asking you about your day, or finding ways to insert herself into your world more actively. Unexpected compliments may come your way. Her laughter might suddenly ring out at jokes she previously ignored, or she might even engage more frequently with your social media posts. These changes are not random. They are her attempt to re-establish a connection and get your attention back on her. However, this is where you, as a high-value man, must remain steadfast. It's tempting to immediately respond to this newfound attention and reciprocate her efforts. Yet, doing so too eagerly risks undoing the shift in dynamics that you've created. Reacting impulsively may cause you to fall back into her frame, putting you back in a position of chasing. Instead, stay focused on your own priorities and allow her to come to you. Respond with confidence, but don't overinvest or go down a path of overanalysis. She may also start showing an interest in things that matter to you. You might hear her ask about your hobbies, suggest plans that align with your interests, or bring up topics you've mentioned in the past. This is her way of signaling that she's paying attention to what you value. Acknowledge her efforts, but stay grounded in your own goals. It's also important to recognize that her increased attentiveness might come with a hint of nervousness. You might notice her becoming more eager to please or see her messages carrying an undertone of insecurity. She may ask if you're upset or if something has changed between you two. These signs reveal that her withdrawal has made her uneasy, and she's trying to gauge where she stands with you. This is a perfect moment to test your composure. While this could stroke your ego, it's vital to stay calm and maintain control. Overplaying your hand by acting dismissive or aloof could backfire, turning her attentiveness into frustration or resentment. Instead, interact with purpose. Responding with control and clarity will reinforce that your attention isn't easily earned or won. A high-value man doesn't rush to reassure someone who's suddenly aware that she might lose him. By staying composed and grounded, you reinforce that her increased attention is a response to your strength and that you don't need to chase after validation. Handling this moment with poise allows you to keep her intrigued while asserting your own value. Remember, a high-value man doesn't seek constant reassurance. He remains steadfast in his path, creating an aura of strength that others, especially women, feel drawn to. This shift in her behavior is not just a sign of her recognizing that she might lose you. It's a testament to your own value and the magnetic power you hold when you're true to yourself. 2. She tests your resolve. When a woman notices that you've lost interest, her first instinct is often to test your resolve. Women are naturally drawn to men who exude confidence and emotional stability. So when you begin to pull back, she'll instinctively want to know if this shift is permanent or just a temporary withdrawal. These tests are her way of assessing your emotional strength, your ability to maintain self-control, and your commitment to the new dynamic you've created. In essence, she's trying to gauge whether you're a man who can be easily influenced or one who stands firm in his convictions. Your response to these tests will speak volumes about how she perceives you moving forward. For example, one common test involves her acting cold or distant to see if you'll chase her. If she feels you've pulled back emotionally, she might mirror your behavior, becoming distant herself, in an attempt to regain control. This is a strategic move designed to provoke a reaction from you. Many men fall into this trap, rushing to reassure her or doubling down on their efforts to reconnect. However, by doing so, they lose the power they initially gained with their withdrawal. Instead, what's needed is a calm, composed response. Match her energy or remain indifferent, showing her that your worth isn't dependent on her approval. Your lack of reaction sends a message that you are not easily manipulated and that your emotional well-being doesn't hinge on her validation. This calculated response forces her to reconsider her strategy. More often than not, it will prompt her to drop the cold act and pursue you more openly. Another test that may come your way is her attempt to provoke jealousy. She might casually mention other men, post photos that are designed to grab your attention, or subtly hint at her options. These tactics are meant to stir insecurity within you, hoping to push you into reasserting your interest in her. However, falling for this bait will only give her the control she seeks. The key to navigating this test is to stay unshaken. Remaining composed and unaffected by her provocations highlights your confidence and emotional maturity, traits that women find irresistibly attractive. In addition to these tests, she may try to push your boundaries by becoming more demanding or critical. Whether it's picking fights over trivial issues or probing into your behavior, the goal is to destabilize your resolve and pull you back into her frame of control. The best way to deal with this is to avoid unnecessary arguments or over-explaining yourself. Keep your responses clear, direct, and concise. This reinforces your position and shows her that you won't be dragged into emotional chaos. Understanding the psychology behind these tests is key. Women have a deep respect for men who maintain their composure under pressure, men who don't buckle at the first sign of resistance. Each test is an opportunity for you to assert your value and demonstrate that you are an independent man who cannot be swayed easily. The more consistently you handle these situations with self-control, the more she will see you as a man worth pursuing. By standing firm, you not only maintain the upper hand, but also solidify your position as a man who operates on his own terms, which is ultimately what makes you irresistible to her. If you found this valuable, don't forget to like, comment below, and share it with someone who could benefit. Comment to remember, I am emotionally strong and unshaken. By engaging with these principles, you'll continue to become the high-value man who doesn't easily fall for tests or manipulation. Stay strong and confident. 3. She becomes emotionally unpredictable. When a woman realizes that you've lost interest, her reaction often becomes emotionally unpredictable. This shift occurs because her sense of control and stability in the relationship is shaken. Losing your attention creates an emotional void she struggles to fill. Women, deeply attuned to the emotional undercurrents in relationships, interpret any imbalance as a threat. Initially, you may notice her becoming more affectionate, showering you with compliments, seeking your validation, or expressing how much she values you. These sudden bursts of warmth are no accident. They're calculated attempts to pull you back into her orbit, to remind you of the connection you once shared, and to reignite your interest. However, when these efforts don't bear fruit, her emotional state can shift dramatically. She may quickly move from warmth to frustration or anger, testing the limits of your emotional engagement. It's her way of trying to provoke a response, to see if her emotional volatility will drive you to take the bait. She might criticize you, accuse you of being indifferent, or even start arguments over trivial matters, all in an effort to force you to react, to force you to re-engage with her emotionally. This behavior is a power play, a test of control. Many men fall into the trap of overreacting in these moments, either by trying to calm her down or defending themselves excessively. But in doing so, they hand control right back to her, which is precisely what she wants. As a man, your job in this moment is not to get caught in her emotional storms, but to remain calm, detached, and emotionally composed. When you stay unaffected, you show her that her emotional fluctuations cannot control you. Instead of decoding every mixed signal, which can become a frustrating puzzle, focus on maintaining your own emotional stability. Whether she's clingy or distant, her mixed signals are only effective if you let them affect you. When you don't, they lose their power. In some cases, her unpredictability may escalate into attention-seeking behavior. She might post cryptic messages on social media, flaunt her social life, or create scenarios that make you feel like you're missing out. This is designed to pull you back into her world, to make you wonder what she's doing, and whether she's moved on. This kind of behavior is aimed at provoking jealousy or regret. She wants you to feel like you're losing something valuable. The key here is to resist the urge to react. A man who remains unshaken by these tactics sends a powerful message. His value does not depend on her approval or attention. Remember, emotional unpredictability is not random. It's a response to your withdrawal, an attempt to regain control of the situation. But a man who stands firm, unaffected by her tactics, shows her that his value remains intact, independent of her approval. In doing so, you reinforce your worth and maintain control of the dynamic, ensuring that she has to put in real effort to earn your attention again. As the ancient Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." If this message spoke to your heart today, leave a comment about faith. I am a high-value man. 4. She tries to reignite your interest. When a woman realizes you've lost interest, she often shifts into a mode of trying to reignite the attraction and desire you once had for her. This behavior comes from a deep-rooted need to reclaim the attention and validation she feels slipping away. Once she senses that your focus has moved elsewhere, her instinct is to regain her influence over you by becoming more appealing, desirable, and engaging. It's in this moment, when she feels your attention wavering, that she begins to invest time and energy into proving her worth to you, something she might have taken for granted before. One of the first things she may do is focus on enhancing her physical appearance. As men, we're often drawn to visual cues, and women are well aware of this. When she notices your interest dwindling, she may put in extra effort to make herself more attractive. This could involve dressing more provocatively, changing her hairstyle or makeup, or highlighting features that are hard for you to ignore. Pay close attention to how she presents herself around you. If she's suddenly putting more effort into her appearance than before, it's a strong signal she's trying to recapture your attention. Beyond her appearance, she may also alter her demeanor. She might become more agreeable, playful, or flirtatious, emphasizing the qualities she knows originally drew you to her. You may notice her laughing more at your jokes, engaging in light-hearted banter, or even reminiscing about fond memories you've shared. These subtle shifts are her way of trying to reignite the spark you once had, reminding you of the connection you enjoyed together. While it may feel flattering, it's important to remain composed. A high-value man doesn't immediately fall for the first sign of renewed interest. Instead, He evaluates whether her efforts are genuine or simply a reaction to her losing control. Another tactic she might use is creating situations where she can be in your line of sight. She could purposely try to cross your path, become more active on social media, or place herself in environments where she knows you'll be. These actions are not random. They're calculated, designed to remind you of her presence and show you what you're missing. Even though these gestures may seem coincidental, they are intentional moves meant to draw your attention back toward her. Furthermore, she may begin to align her behavior with your preferences. If you've mentioned enjoying certain activities or having particular interests, she might suddenly start to embody those qualities. While this can be a sign that she's putting in effort, it also serves as a test of your resolve. Don't immediately reward this behavior. Instead, observe whether these changes are consistent over time or simply a short-term attempt to regain your interest. During this phase, the most powerful thing you can do is remain steady. Avoid falling back into old patterns of chasing after her or over-investing in her efforts. Let her work to rebuild the connection on your terms. As a high-value man, you know that any renewed interest she shows is merely a reaction to your self-respect and independence. By maintaining your composure and staying true to your own boundaries, you ensure that any potential reconnection will be based on mutual value rather than her temporary desire to regain control over the situation. As the great philosopher Marcus Aurelius once said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." Stand firm in your own value and let her effort speak for itself. Share your experience in the comments, or if you're keeping it simple, just drop this in the comments. True strength lies in self-respect and independence. 5. She plays mind games. When a woman realizes you've lost interest, one of her most common and complex reactions is to resort to mind games. These are calculated tactics meant to confuse you, provoke emotional responses, and shift the power back in her favor. At its core, this is a test of your emotional discipline and patience. Many men, caught off guard, find themselves second-guessing their decisions and uncertain about their next move. Understanding these games and navigating them with confidence is crucial in maintaining your composure and avoiding her traps. One of the most subtle ways she might do this is by creating ambiguity around her feelings. She could act as though she's completely moved on, only to drop hints suggesting that she still cares, like posting cryptic messages on social media, hinting at being interested in someone else, or sending late-night texts that send mixed signals. This seesawing behavior is designed to keep you on edge, questioning where you stand. Her goal is clear. She wants you to chase clarity, thus shifting the power dynamic back to her. The key here is to maintain your emotional detachment and not seek reassurance. Her inconsistency will ultimately reveal her true intentions. Another tactic she may employ is trying to provoke jealousy. She might mention other men or deliberately make it known that she's engaging with new social circles, all with the aim of triggering a reaction from you. This is no accident. It's an effort to elicit an emotional response, whether it's jealousy, insecurity, or frustration. If you show any signs of being unsettled or threatened, it gives her validation that she can still control your emotions, even after you've distanced yourself. The best way to respond here is with calm indifference. A man who doesn't react to such provocations exudes confidence and self-assurance, making her attempts to destabilize you futile. This steady demeanor frustrates her, as she is unable to control you through emotional manipulation. She may also attempt to manipulate your sense of guilt or obligation. This could manifest as her reminding you of shared memories, highlighting the effort she's put into the relationship, or even playing the victim in hopes of making you feel sorry for her. She wants to make you doubt your decision to pull away and perhaps guilt you into re-engaging. While it's natural to feel empathy, you must resist the urge to be manipulated by guilt. Responding out of obligation instead of genuine interest will only undermine your position. In more extreme cases, she might directly threaten to walk away, using this as a tactic to see if you'll break and beg for her attention. This is often a bluff to test your resolve. If you give in, she will reclaim control and confirm that your withdrawal was merely a temporary phase. The appropriate response in this situation is to stand firm and call her bluff. a man who is willing to let her walk away if necessary, signals that his sense of self-worth is unshakable and that he cannot be manipulated. The central theme in all of these mind games is emotional manipulation, and your best defense is emotional control. The moment you react impulsively, you lose your power. Instead, keep your focus on maintaining clarity, patience, and firm personal boundaries. A woman will ultimately respect a man who can see through her tactics and remain unaffected. By staying grounded and consistent in your actions, you reinforce your value, leaving her to wonder if she can truly manipulate you, flipping the power dynamic in your favor. Modern life is full of distractions and emotional challenges, but a Stoic man who stands firm in his principles remains untouchable in the face of these tests. Stick with me, because this is just the beginning. We're moving forward with even more powerful tactics to leave a lasting impact on their mind. Get ready for the next move, one that deepens their connection to you in ways they can't ignore. If you are ready, comment, "Let's go." Let's move forward. 6. She attempts to reassert dominance. When a woman realizes you've lost interest, you may witness a shift in the power dynamics, and she will likely attempt to reassert dominance. This is not just a simple shift. It's a defense mechanism rooted in her need for control. She senses a threat to her authority and reacts by trying to regain the upper hand. A man who is not aware of this dynamic risks being manipulated back into submission. A woman may use subtle or overt tactics to re-establish dominance, such as becoming dismissive or condescending, mocking your choices, or subtly highlighting how others are interested in her. These comments like, "You've changed, and it's not as attractive as you think," or "Other men are showing interest," are meant to provoke insecurity, to make you question your value, and to drive you to seek her validation once more. Don't fall for this trap. The worst mistake you can make is to defend yourself or engage in an emotional argument. A true man of strength will remain calm, composed, and indifferent to such provocations. Let her words fall flat, like a leaf blowing in the wind. Remember, the measure of a man is not how he reacts, but how he controls his response. When she tries to reassert control over the communication dynamic, perhaps by taking longer to reply to your messages, cancelling plans last minute, or becoming less available, do not chase her. Instead, mirror her behaviour by prioritizing your time and continuing with your life unaffected. The desire to chase her is natural, but a high-value man does not bend to such games. He stands firm. Don't be fooled by her attempts to undermine your confidence. Her criticism, her questioning of your decisions or lifestyle, is designed to destabilize you, to plant seeds of doubt in your mind. When she says, "I don't understand why you're doing this. It's not the person I thought you were," she is not giving you constructive feedback. She is trying to weaken you. The best way to handle this is not by explaining yourself, but by standing firm in your values and decisions. Confidence in your own path is the ultimate rebuttal. Remember, true strength is not shown by confrontation, but by standing your ground without flinching. Moreover, she may try to dominate socially, posting pictures with friends, attending events without you, or showcasing her life without your attention. Again, this is another attempt to provoke jealousy or insecurity. Your response should be to double down on your own journey. Focus on your goals, improve yourself, and show that her actions do not affect your progress. A high-value man doesn't need to react to these displays. He lets them pass him by like a shadow. Ultimately, when a woman attempts to reassert dominance, it is her discomfort with losing control that fuels her actions. By maintaining your composure, staying indifferent to her attempts to provoke you, and continuing to prioritize your own life, you reinforce your value and remind her that you are not a man who can be manipulated. As the Stoics would say, it is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Keep your frame steady, and in the end, it is your calm and your commitment to your own path that will prove more powerful than any game she plays. Thanks for watching. If you found this video valuable, don't forget to hit the like button, share it with others, and subscribe to the channel for more insightful content. Your support helps us grow and continue bringing you helpful videos. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you have any feedback, or if you want to discuss anything related to today's topic, feel free to leave a comment below. Let's keep the conversation going. I'm here to listen and engage with you. Remember, the Stoic mindset is all about control, wisdom, and staying true to your path. Keep applying these principles, and I'll see you in the next video. Stay strong, stay wise,